and social innovation in finance. So we wanted to explore the power of youth in shaping a sustainable finance and how young people across Europe are creating impact-driven ventures and how they can access the resources to grow. So we saw that there are some difficulties. So the youth as innovators, sometimes they have great ideas. They are active, creative. There are lots of green startups, lots of initiatives that are facilitating this kind of initiatives. But in any case, youth are encountering some problems in creating their initiative. Although we have a lot of examples, for example, in cooperatives of youth, in the various sectors that are part of the sustainability. So it could be in agriculture, in the urban areas, in shared services, and so on, or the green startups that in a way had the possibility to access to specific tool and products. So, for example, few years ago, there was really an initiative to promote startups that were designing eco-friendly product. So we have lots of these one that then have scaled up and became companies. And they were focusing on the use of a product that were bio-based, for example, or for example, in the circular economy, there are specific products that are trying to facilitate, to promote circular business model and startups that have this kind of model. Other initiatives that are facilitating startups led by young people are the so-called tech for good platforms that are apps or websites that are in particular fostering this kind of initiatives in a specific sector. Again, we are talking about sectors that are aligned with the SDGs, and these are opportunities to create a new business, a startup on this specific sector. And then we talk about social enterprises. We have a lot of different examples, and also these social enterprise are specifically let's say, focusing on the inclusion aspect, which is another SDGs, and they are supporting the access to health, the access to education, then again, are SDGs.
C.I.P, c'est une organisation qui travaille sur les migrations et qui travaille en particulier à accompagner des entrepreneurs immigrés ou réfugiés qui ont envie de se lancer dans les pays dans lesquels ils se sont installés.
Con Quid quello che facciamo è trasformare i limiti del sistema moda, che sono le rimanenze tessili, e i limiti del mercato del lavoro che esclude persone più fragili, e trasformare questa in un'opportunità. Le sfide incontrate sono state numerose, in particolare all'inizio la credibilità come imprenditrice donna et come imprenditrice giovane.
Le plus difficile, c'est de payer son loyer au départ, parce qu'on est en train de travailler sur des projets qui sont radicalement différents avec ce qui est connu, qu'on a du mal du coup à établir un modèle économique et donc du coup à avoir des revenus. Du coup du soutien financier très clairement. Et je pense que c'est aussi important d'avoir de la reconnaissance et des espaces dans lesquels on peut s'exprimer et rencontrer aussi les décideurs publics.
Agevolare la burocrazia e anche costruire dal basso alcune procedure da proporre poi alle strutture di policy making e dall'altro lato riuscire ad avere accesso al credito sostenibile per le nuove realtà che vogliono partire.
Okay. Okay. This was an example of real actors that created some realities, startups in the social, in the eco products, or for recuperate some production that otherwise could be wasted, and their real problem that they face, which kind of barriers they face when they decided to realize their project. So we heard about the problem of having a credit history because you are young, so you are less credible, and it is difficult then to have access to financing. The fact that you are in an early stage, so you are more risky than an established company. So the banks are seeing the youth-led venture as more risky, and so they don't have any kind of a track record and experience, so they are less keen to give them confidence. Then the awareness gap. So effectively, there is also some kind of lack of knowledge and also financial literacy that is a barrier. So that's why it is so important to acquire this kind of skills. And other barriers could be also limited access and networks. Also, the knowledge of the opportunities sometimes is a big barrier, not knowing about opportunities. So which kind of a solution? We have at European level, we have many solutions. Some of them are more in the public sector, some other are more in the private, or it could be in both. But of course, there are scheme of microfinance that are giving small loans targeted at young startups with fewer requirements, enable easier access to capital. So this is a reality, and these are available on the market. The crowdfunding we saw last time, there are lots of online platforms, and this is also sometimes an instrument that might work quite well. The social venture fund, we remind what we said last time, on investors that are really focusing impact-driven and young enterprises. And then, of course, networks and projects that are giving mentoring. So they are interesting because they are developing the skills of the entrepreneur together with the young people. So they are giving a kind of technical assistance, and by giving this kind of services, they are creating a more trust also with potential funders. So I wanted to show you, because we are a little bit late, okay, I wanted to show you a practical example. So we were just mentioning last time the European Investment Fund, but just to give you an idea, the European Investment Fund is a part of the European Investment Bank. And what they are doing, they are, say, inviting financial intermediaries. So the financial intermediaries can be banks, can be credit institution. There is a quite differentiate, let's say, kind of intermediaries in the financial world. So they are giving them the possibility to present kind of projects, okay, and became kind of intermediaries for the European Investment Fund. Of course, the European Investment Fund is also funding a very big project, but we are talking here about very small projects. So the European Investment Fund is relying on the intermediaries, so the financial intermediaries in each member states, to create the possibility to ask for microcredit. So these intermediaries are in practice where we have to ask for our loans for our company, for example. And of course, each one of the intermediaries can present a project which is slightly different. But in practice, what is doing the European Investment Fund is giving the possibility to these intermediaries to lend money, but without risk, because the risk of the lending is on the European Investment Fund. So in practice, I wanted to show you this link is another interactive website. I hope you see here. You see the map of Europe. You have the link also in the chat, so you can open up the page. And you see numbers. And this is quite surprising, because you see there are some member states that have a very big number, and other member states that they have a lower number. So this is the number of intermediaries, so bank intermediaries or credit institution that were answering to the invitation of the European Investment Fund to present a project for lending credit, microcredit, let's say, to startup or to social enterprises, or to enterprises for renewable energies. So each one could really try to have an instrument which was with a specific purpose. So if we are looking at Italy, for example, we click here on the North Italy. We saw already that we have a few institutions, okay? But if you scroll down, you can also decide other kind of filters. So in some of the filters, you can see the region, for example, but you can see also the type of finance. If you are looking for a loan or guarantee, if you are looking for equity or venture capital, etc. Okay, and also the investment focus, because could be different. Could be all sector, could be energy, whatever. So you can make your choices, and then you have the list of the financial intermediaries that are available, and you see which kind of instrument they have. So for example, here the Banca Cassa di Risparmio Savigliano, he has the possibility through InvestEU, that gives you the possibility to do that, to give loans that are covered by a guarantee from the EF on what? On specific investment, which are clean tech, sustainability, culture and creative sector, digitalization, social enterprise, etc., etc. So if you are looking for money, for example, for your initiative, your startup, your project, and you need a loan, you go to this specific financial intermediary, and by knowing already that he has this kind of credit line, because this kind of credit line will give you the possibility to have money without guarantee from your side, because the guarantee is already covered by the EF, you know? And also to negotiate at your best, because you know the program, you know the system. In the majority of cases, you don't know. The intermediaries know, but you don't know. So it gives you less negotiation power. And when you are asking for money, negotiation power is very important. So this is another way to be very transparent. So the EF, we know everything. What is a little bit deceiving, for example, I'm Italian, I know that Italy is really doing very poorly in this sector, because we always, historically, since 20 years, we didn't have intermediaries that were able to present a project, to be able to evaluate the project, because the project had to be evaluated to be impactful, and then to manage this money from the EF. In other countries, they were very, very good with a lot of intermediaries, a lot of funds, a lot of opportunities. So again, you can go and play with this dashboard. Of course, it's covering the entire Europe. Okay. I wanted to go out from here. Thank you. Okay. So this is a very concrete example on how to find the microfinance. We are not asking to the BEI or to AEF, because they are financing a directly very big project, starting from 25 millions higher. But for the small, the microfinance, the so-called microfinance, which is a very important aspect of the sustainability finance, and so the opportunity to access to the credit for young people, we need to look at the intermediaries that have credit lines supported by the European Investment Fund, but you need to ask to those intermediaries, okay? Okay, so other concrete example, we already mentioned last time, two of them that are very, very important. One is for project high tech, and I was just mentioning, but we skip the details because it's a very big subject, the European Innovation Council, and the possibility to be funded through a scheme which allows the company to scale up. And then we mentioned the Erasmus for a Young Entrepreneur. I have a video which is very self-explaining. I think this is a very a concrete opportunity, and it is quite easy to obtain. So I really suggest you to look for this opportunity, and I invite you to look at this short video.
You have a business idea and you've worked hard on creating a business plan. You've taken the first steps to turn your dream into reality. But let's face it, navigating the world of business requires many different skills. You could probably use some hands-on advice from an experienced entrepreneur to discover how things are done at a more mature company. The Erasmus for Young Entrepreneurs program might be just what you're looking for. It offers starting entrepreneurs the possibility to travel to one of over 40 participating countries and to work up to 6 months together with an experienced hosting entrepreneur. During this exchange, both of you will discover new ways of growing your own businesses in an international environment. There is no age limit. All starting entrepreneurs from participating countries with a concrete business plan can apply. Are you on the other side of the partnership and you want to host starting entrepreneurs? If you've run a successful business for 3 years or more, you can apply to become a host. We've established over 10,000 partnerships with over 170 contact points in the past 11 years. So, it's a unique chance to expand your network and seize new opportunities abroad. The program is funded by the European Union, which will partly cover the costs of your stay abroad. To participate, check out erasmus-entrepreneurs.eu and get in touch with the local contact point in your country. Expand your horizons. Don't wait any longer. New business opportunities are awaiting.
Okay, so for this Erasmus entrepreneur, you heard about be able to do a business plan. Of course, many of the exchanges, the idea is to learn about a sector or a kind of activities that you would like to replicate in your country. So one of the aspects of this business model is to demonstrate that there is a lack in your region or there is a space in the market for this specific activity. And then you find in another country someone that is running a business which is similar or near what you have in mind. And basically you are learning from him how to run the company, how to find the client, how to do the services, the product that. So the idea is very simple. The business plan, you will eventually receive lots of information and help in making this very basic business plan for your idea. And then through this very large network of bureaux d'assistance that have the contract and have also the money to distribute it to the different entrepreneurs. You have the possibility to do this experience up to 6 months in abroad in foreign countries with an entrepreneur to learn about and to learn skills and to learn about these specific interests that you might have. So my suggestion is to look at the projects and see if you have an idea. Try to see is, of course, if you have an idea of going abroad for several months. The money that you will receive is probably not enough, but is more or less 1,000 euros per month. So it might be a good help, let's say, to do the experience. Okay, now I wanted to talk about something completely different, but of course, stick to the sustainable finance. We talk a lot about sustainable finance. I just wanted to say to you that at European level, you can find also an important educational platform that is discussing and is specifically focused on sustainable finance. This is a summer school that the GRC, which is the Joint Research Center of the European Commission, organized and started, I think, 7 years ago. Why? Because they started to promote this sustainable finance through research projects on this particular matter. And they started to collect information also to design those tools that we were talking about, also to be able to identify the regulation, the steps that were necessary to make the sustainable finance growing. So there is this sustainable finance summer school. Of course, all the editions, the previous editions are available on the website of the GRC. We will share with you the right links. You will see all the registration of the days. I think it's 3 days per edition. The slides and of course all the materials. It's a summer school followed by different kind of people. Of course, there are a lot of researchers in finance, but also policymakers, professional banks. So it's something that can be followed by someone that is interested in this matter. And what you can find, of course, the sustainable finance strategies are how this concept has evolved during the years. Of course, each year there are new challenges, which kind of risk assessment tool had been created, or different kind of platforms are working, how digital technology now can reinforce this kind of tools, especially in the transparency and the possibility of reporting. It's a really a global collaboration, because it's something followed by different targets, and of course it's looking at Europe, but not only, so also the international level. And you can learn if you are interested in this matter. And of course, finance will learn that is something that should be part of our life. And even though you are doing another kind of studies, we started to understand that the financial aspects of everything become something crucial. So be aware about the possibility, the tools, the KPIs, the metrics, and so on, is something that each one should apply in its particular sector.